Miss Nikki in the house.
So we know what we're good at, but we know we're not good at. We spend all of our time.
My family know I've been married for 10 years.
I had changed my life so much in such a short
I've been doing that for 18 to 19 years.
I'm one of those people who I think, I grew up
serving the majority, as far as I can remember, as a kid.
Hey everyone! Yes, I am Chandra, and
allow themselves to be free. Sometimes I do coaching and other things like that, but
dance was my life. Dance is what I knew. Dance is what I breathed.
I lost a lot of time with my daughter in that first year.
It was an amazing job for actors.
Hey, and welcome to Commit to Change, otherwise known as C2C, the podcast that gives a voice to the people who may be considered a small fry in their industry, but are doing big things in their communities. This is Miss Nikki, the Jane of all trades, but the master of living. I am committed to introducing to you local VIPs, vivaciously inspiring people to encourage you on your daily journey, as well as let you know what is happening around you in your area. So today's guest is coming to you out of Philly.
Yeah, PHI-LLY,
Yeah.
215. It is what it is.
Yeah, so if you can't hear that smooth, sultry voice over there, that is Mr. Jermaine Quick. Say hello, Jermaine.
Hey, everybody. Good to see y'all. Well, in social media land, right?
Yes. Yes. So it has taken us a minute, but we finally got together. I have the astute honor of introducing him. So let me just tell you right now, this brother is doing things, and I'm just going to give you a synopsis, but he's going to be able to tell you all the good things, all the juice, all the tea of what he's doing. But he is an author, a writer, a producer, a director. He started a company called Illadelph Styles Entertainment way back in 2001, and he is still going strong. He has five movies under your belt, right?
Five, yes.
Five. He's got five on it. Hey. Okay.
Yes.
One of them is on Amazon Prime, which is called The American Bully. So make sure you go and download that or check it out. He's currently working on Heartless. We have The Philadelphians. I missed two of them. Can you tell me two of the other movies?
Change the Beat. We have a distribution deal with Shammy Media Group in New York, and every Best Buy and Target. The one before that was called Concealed Habitat. Concealed Habitat can be watched on YouTube. Just look up my company, Illadelph Styles Entertainment, and Concealed Habitat, and you'll find that. And my first movie, my very, very first movie, it's called Rise Like Cream, and that is also on YouTube.
Okay, so wait a minute, that's 6 movies.
No, that's 5. Rise Like Cream, Concealed Habitat, Change the Beat, American Bully, and now Heartless.
So where did I get the Philadelphians from? What was that?
That was actually probably a CD that you.
Oh, see, messing me up.
I got like over 5 or 6 albums on Amazon. iTunes right now. So
So as I said, he's producing all kind of good stuff. He's been on TV for interviews for the news. He also received something from the city of Philadelphia last year. Want to tell us a little bit about that? And then you can go into talking about all your accolades, Mr. Quick.
Okay. So I received the city citation for my community work as far as the movie American Bully, which I was able to 68 actors, from dancers, models, and rappers, to participate in the film and get nationally known, as well as the community work I've done over the past with youth in North Philadelphia. With our, I had started a youth after school program. It was teaching at-risk youth how to handle different trials and tribulations, and so. The citation just kind of engulfed all of that, all the things that I work with the youth as well as the movie. And so rewind, to tell you a little. I'm like, I always say I'm an average guy. But I went through some abnormal things, like we all have. I'm a product of the group home system. My mom was an alcoholic, and when I was very young, I suffered child abuse. And so during my teenage years, going through the group homes, I learned so many different skills and talents, and I kept them, I always used them. I always got out and performed and do different things like that. And around the age of 19, I got actually 17, I got my first record contract while I was still in high school. And I did very well in high school. I had my GPA average was 3.7. Even though I was going through so many trials and tribulations, being in the group homes and different things like that, but I still kept high energy, and I stayed focused, got my record contract doing hip hop music. I was a rapper at the time, and I also beatbox. Beatboxing was the thing back then, and I did that. Did it quite well too. And so that led me, my record contract led me to perform with a young singer named Heather Henderson. Also became an actor later on in her life, but our single was nationally out, and it got me some reputation. However, touring and opening for big groups like Snap back in the day and different things like that, I said to myself, I really just want to have my own company, because the very taunting, it's very challenging, and you need to understand the business. And I didn't really understand the business as a teenager, and I wanted to know more about it. So I went to school, Art Institute of Philadelphia, for music and video production in 95. And during that time, I learned so much about, and this is editing. Now you guys have digital editing, right?
Right.
Well, we edit with tapes. We used to take, you would have reel-to-reel tape, and you would have to splice it in the right area, because if you didn't, then you messed up the whole recording. So I learned on the original equipment, okay? How to splice tape and how to do that. Now we have the digital, and it's so much easier. But however, learning that, I started working with youth at my old high school, and I ended up teaching there for 3 years, helping out with their videography program and different things like that, and teaching kids how to use video. And so that led me to say, you know what, I want something bigger for myself. So I went back to school, and I went to Temple University for their Pan-African American program. It's called the PASSET program. And that program was allotted to give people certificates in entrepreneurship or whatever trade they wanted to be in. And so I got my little certificate, learned how to do nonprofit business and for-profit business, and said, I'm going to start a for-profit company, and I'm going to call it Illadel's Styles. And the reason why I call it Illadel's, because I'm from Philly, 215, born and raised, and I want for my city. So I called it Illadel's Styles in 2001. And I started out I went and bought me a video camera. Now, mind you, it was a store-bought video camera. So we call it the consumer camera, and it was very small. I got me a microphone and attached the wire to it, and I got me a little light to go on top of it. And I would go out and get interviews with rappers, right? And then from there, I said, you know what? I need something bigger. I want to get with the stars. So I learned how to get a press pass from the city, which made me part of press. So I was allowed to be in every event there possibly was in the world. I did Live Aid. I did so many big events. So I'm getting next to the stars. I mean, the real stars. So I got interviews with Russell Simmons. I got interviews with Will Smith. I mean, you can just imagine. But I got it all on this small little consumer camera, right? So I was able to put together what they call, back in the day, we had this thing called DVD magazine. And so what it was a compilation of rappers that could rap, do street rap, and then interviews with the stars. And I created that magazine to where I can, I would use all the major stars in their interviews and then put local star or local rappers with it so they can get a bigger buzz. And it worked out because I ended up shipping out DVDs all over the place and people was loving it. And then the boom came. The boom was DVDs got played out. Nobody was using DVDs anymore. So around 2009, something like that, I said, I'm gonna start shooting films. And I did. I shot my first film, and I used some local actors and artists, and we shot a film called Rise Like Cream. And Kevin Hart has a group of people. They call themselves the Plastic Cup Boys. The leaders in the group, his name is Spank Horton. He was actually the star of my first film, one of the stars.
Wow.
And we did that movie. It was only like 40 minutes long. And however, I took it into a college because at the time only colleges will allow you to play the movie. And I took it to a college, and we sold out a room of 100 people. And I was excited because I said, I rapped all these years and I couldn't get 20 people to come to my rap. But I do a movie and 100 people come out. So I'm excited now, right? So I do a second movie, and this second film, I combined with this group called a Coalition, and a lot of artists came out of there. And I took that movie, and it went from 100 seats to 480 seats.
Wow.
And the star in that movie was C Knowledge from the world famous Diggable Planets. I'm cool like that. I'm slick like that. Yeah.
I'm black like that. What?
Right.
Okay,
so
people don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm taking the back.
Yeah, well, that's real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That's real hip hop. So yeah, so I had the award-winning, Grammy award-winning C Knowledge in my second film. And because I was getting noticed for the films, the type of films that I was doing, I didn't do the same drama story films. My films were based on real issues. So like my first film was about two guys coming into the music game trying to come up, two young guys, and one gets killed and the other one has to decide whether to retaliate or continue the journey. So it had subject matter. It had a point behind it. And so people liked it. So when I did the second film, which was a little more deeper, that was about two guys who committed robbery homicide, and they both have two lives that they're trying to escape from. One has a girlfriend who's being raped by her stepfather, and the other one had a brother who's being beat by his evangelist mom. And so they needed to get this money so they can take their families out of this situation. And so that was a deep plot because it was actually based on some true stories that I know. And so a lot of people came out to see that. So then I said, well, I got another story for you guys. And I came up with Change the Beat. Change the Beat was about two rappers creating a different sound of music. One did hardcore, one did conscious. And they came together and found out they both had something in common. They both had the same father.
Wow.
That was deep within itself because a lot of brothers are in the hood are killing each other and don't even know if they're killing their own brother. But that's another story.
That's deep.
Right.
And
right.
That's very true.
It is very true. And so then I came out with the fourth movie, which was American Bully. And in American Bully, I didn't want to just attack it from a kid's point of view. I wanted to do it from a family point of view. So the movie was about a biracial family dealing with the issues of bullying. You had the father who was a bully at work, and he bullied all his employees. The son was a bully at school, following after his father, and the mother had cancer. And before she died, she was trying to tell them to get their life together, but they didn't pay attention. She ends up passing away, and the father loses his job at the corporate level, which forces him and his son to move from the suburbs where they were so comfortable, where they now confronted by the same people they used to bully. That was deep, and that's why the news picked it up. Fox 29 picked it up, and they thought it was very unique in the way that I wrote it, because it wasn't just talking about the kids being bullied in school, but how it transpires through your job and through your everyday life,
Right.
So they took that as a big thing. And so now we here today with the movie called Heartless. And this one is about mental illness. And I have a few people, family and friends, that are dealing with this great disease. And I also work in the job field with it. I'm a forensic security officer at the psychiatric ward. And I get to see these guys come in very young. And mental illness is something that people take for granted because people mistaking it as bad behavior, and it's not bad behavior.
Right.
It's a chemical imbalance and a condition. And a lot of police officers aren't trained in that and handling that type of behavior. It's something new to them, as well as thing that is not talked about in our community. And I wanted just to bring it to the forefront so that people can see the signs and see what it looks like from an average eye and through the eyes out, So that's basically what Heartless is about, is mental illness through the eyes of a child, being seen through the eyes of a child. And it's, it's going to be a great movie. December 5th is when we're going to have our premiere here in Philadelphia. And I'm looking for great things with this film. This film is going to touch a lot of people because we talk about domestic violence, how that is also something that is ignored in our communities.
Yeah.
Our women are being ignored. Most people, it was a time when men would stick up for a female on the corner if she was getting hit. Now people just pull out their cell phones and just watch.
Yeah.
It has to stop because our women are the most precious things that we have because they born our legacies. And if we don't protect that, then we don't have a legacy. So domestic violence in our movies, and this, like I said, this movie has a lot of key subjects in it that is going to be very unique and dynamic in its approach to reach communities. And it still has the grit of just being a movie. Like, it's not preachy or anything like that. It's still a movie, but the message is still there.
Wow. So I'm really excited about Heartless because Commit to Change is actually a part of a bigger project, which is the Self-Lift Network. And a part of the Self-Lift Network is how to empower self, and that's through health, wealth, self, everything. So mental illness is something that I talk about because I've dealt with depression for many, many years. And a part of what I try to teach people is there's different ways of dealing with it. And a lot of it is how you eat. A lot of it's also what you surround who you surround yourself with, what you're listening to, what you're watching. There's many factors involved with it. And then of course there's other people who are at the extreme side of things, but people don't even acknowledge even the smaller elements of dealing with mental illness, because depression is a part of it. And it's not just because you're feeling sad. It's something that has many different levels, and the best thing is to just educate yourself. Like, everyone should educate themselves, so that way if they ever encounter someone who's dealing with it, they can kind of have an idea of what they're dealing with and not assume that they're just dealing with someone who's irate, and they can have a little bit more patience when they're dealing with a particular person. So I really hope that I am in the area so I can come to the premiere. I don't know if I was invited, but I just invited myself.
Oh no, you were invited. You were invited the moment we started talking. You were invited. You don't have to worry about that. You're definitely there. Yep, if you're in the area, definitely come on down. I will put you on the list.
Really love to see that. I would really love to see that. And you know what I noticed while you're talking? That, because I said I have only a little bit decoration. So those of you who are watching it on YouTube, both of us have hope in the background.
That's dope. Yeah. Yes.
I was like, oh yes, we got it, because you gotta have hope to continue moving forward. All right, so you gave us a lot of juice right now. So now let us chat about what inspired you to make that commitment. Because now you started out rapping, and I'm assuming you did it just because you like doing it, or like, what was the drive to start rapping and then to shift it into filmmaking and then getting into changing your community? Like, what inspired you to do all those things? And you could tell different things at different times.
Music has always been my release. When I was going through something, I rapped about it. I love to dance a lot, and I remember when breakdancing first came out when I was 11. That's when I really kind of broke free. That I used that as a way of to release the pain, and I've always been doing something with hip hop ever since. And I think it has helped me to deal with the things that were going on in my life. A lot of the stories that are in the film are depictions of what I either went through personally or experienced right by my side. And so a lot of the stories are based on true events that have occurred. And so, like I said, with the films and the music, it kind of just like was a release, and that made me feel like I can conquer something. That made me feel like, you know, whatever I went through, I can use this talent to make it better. You know, to show other people that's going through that you don't have to sit and sulk in your pain, but you can create something better for yourself. You know, you can create an avenue of something that you like to do and put all your energy into it, you know, put your all in all into it. And I think that's where I started. I started with the music and the move and the filming and stuff like that. And I kind of got more advanced with it, and then I fell in love with it. And when I fell in love with it, it became my life. It was like my whole world, you know. And so I had to learn every aspect of it, because every time I would put something together, you always needed this person and that person and this person. And they were never around when your creative juices was flowing, right?
Yeah.
So I said to myself, like, well, I need to learn this. So I learned editing. I need to learn audio. So I learned audio. I need to learn how to film. I learned that too. And I just, if I can't get the help that I need, I'm going to do it myself.
Yes.
And that drive just came from just knowing that I wanted more for myself. I wanted to have a legacy for my son, because I didn't have one.
Right.
And that made me think more, like, you know, if I'm going to leave something behind, I want to leave him a legacy for his kids.
Right.
So to them, you know, this is what Grandpa did. And then you never know, one of them might be talented enough to be in the same field or whatever. They have something to look back on to say, you know what, if Grandpa did it this way, you know, maybe I can do da-da-da-da. They have an example. You know, you got to, the only way to set examples is if you got to be the example. So
absolutely.
I just feel as though everything that I'm doing in this world right now is for a purpose. And not only is it for my children, but it's for other people out there that believe in my journey and believe in what I'm doing. And as far as reaching out and giving people second chances and hope, you know, we all need hope, you know, especially in trying times like now, we all need a glimpse of hope to make it through, you know, and that hope becomes reality once we put the energy into it to make it reality. So
yeah,
what I'm doing, I'm putting the energy in, I'm allowing you to see it on the big screen, I'm allowing you to hear it on the radio, and I'm hoping that it inspires you to step up and do whatever you need to do to get out your slump, because we all been there. We all been in that deep, dark place. But the way out of that deep, dark place is to grow within and look towards the light, and the light will set you free, you know?
Yes, absolutely. So what would you say has been your biggest obstacle, you know, since changing from just doing this as something as that you love, that you just wanted to do, to, you know, changing other people's lives, and how did you overcome it?
My biggest obstacle was myself, fear of not achieving. And how I overcame it was allowing myself to be laughed at, putting my material out there, even when I knew for a fact that it could be better. But what it did was it established my reputation. It was like, yeah, I started off at this level, but now look where he at.
Right.
All my friends over time have seen the growth, have seen where I came from. So my biggest fear was laughing at myself or allowing others to laugh at me. And I had to, once I got over that hump, I was on the bigger and better things.
Yeah. And that says a lot, Jermaine, that you are willing to, make yourself vulnerable, because I think so many people miss the opportunity because they're too busy trying to be perfect. And as they say, done is better than perfect. And so that you're willing to say, okay, well, I'm doing this. And even if it may not be 100%, I know I put my 100% of my heart in this. And if you guys laugh at it, I don't care. I'm putting it out there. And this is a growing spurt for me. And this is a stepping stone so that way I can get better and better and better. And now you have continued content out there. And people can see the growth, and people see that you were true to what your vision was. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. I think that has been my whole thing. I want to just show people that you don't have to wait around for other people to get things done. You need to just get up and do it for yourself, because nobody can do it better than you. Nobody gonna do it for you, but you have to want to do it for yourself. And that's the biggest confidence. That's how I grew. I just understood for myself that I had no one to give me the bread. I had no one to give me the skill set. I had to go get it myself. And I work hard every day. Like, I might work doubles at my job, whatever it takes to get the equipment, to rent out the spaces, whatever it takes to make it happen. Because I know it's not just me. You gotta remember, I'm hiring other actors and artists in these films that also believe in the vision. So I'm not just working for me anymore. I'm working for you. And so they believe in me enough to get the product out there. So I got to do whatever it takes to get it out there. And that's what I do. I make sure that I work hard. I grind. I link out to people, and I make the moves necessary to get the vision out there. And the vision is not just my vision. It's the collaboration of everybody that's a part of the project.
Who would you say is your biggest supporter through all of this? And it could be different people at different times too.
I would say that it's different people at different times. I don't have one specific person that I say is my number one supporter. At this moment, I have my neighbor has been a great support to me, and making sure that if I needed something, they was right there. I know my neighbors. That's a lot of people don't know their neighbor, but I know my neighbor. So. Also, another big support will be some of the cast members that are on the team. One, his name is Sandman, Dayton Patterson, and he's my ear. Like I go to him with some different things, and we bounce ideas off each other, which is a great thing. As a sparring match for macho men, you know what I'm saying? But I can get that from him, and instill love at the end of the day. Like I said, different people at different times. Right now I'm working with a radio station crew, WBNC Breaking Radio, Bev Brooks and CL Smooth, and they have been a big major part of this film. The inspiration comes from, we both have the love of seeing people succeed, and that's all we talk about, is just giving people opportunity on different levels to get their talent out. And that's what this film does. It allows people to get their second talent out. I don't know, I feel as though, like, when we talk about hope, which is one of those things that is very rare today, because everybody's for self. When we talk about hope, I talk about trying to uplift people in such a way to where when they see your product, they're not just glancing at it for the technical parts of it, like how it looked, different things like that, but it really hits their spirit. Almost like what music used to do. Music today don't hit your spirit. It kind of makes you move around and jump around and get giggly, but back in the day, music used to hit your spirit and talk to you.
Yes.
I try to do with my films. I want my films to talk to people so that when they go home, they don't forget the film. It touches them in such a way they want to change their life. That's why I do this. I do this to try to change lives. I don't do it. Of course I would love to be rich. Who doesn't want to be rich? I want a big, you know what I'm saying? But all of those things are
secondary,
and minute
mm-hmm.
growth of our community.
Because people can be rich mentally and physically, emotionally, spiritually, all the
gambits.
Because that takes you long term.
Yes.
And can go beyond the grave, actually.
Yes.
So, but that's a whole other conversation. So how do you feel that you are adding value to your community? I know you mentioned a lot of other things, but I just wanted to kind of just break it down. How do you feel like you're adding value?
I created a platform in Philadelphia where a lot of people said that couldn't be done. A lot of people say that rappers don't stick together, singers don't stick together, dancers, whoever. Like, we have this great divide. Nobody wants to help each other. I created this platform with the films where I collected all of these people, rappers, models, singers, and I said, act out this play. And at the end, the reward is a combined collection of artists and artistry meeting for the first time and getting on a platform that you probably never would get on because of your separatism. And so I've been able to create this platform 5 times thus far, and it is working very well because some of the people get on board, do their part, and actually become friends with other people that are in the movie, and they establish relationships. And this was something that has been missing for a while, which is called unity. And so I created that platform to create this unity among the businesses and the groups, the different groups and orientations. That's so. That has been a great thing.
So, what tips or advice would you give to someone who is sitting on the fence of their field of dreams?
Get up. Correct word you just said was sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't sit nowhere. You gotta get up and make it happen. Like, so you can sit down all day, it ain't gonna happen. You can look around and you'll see life happening around you, but if you don't get up and pursue, you'll never know what tomorrow will lead to. It's gonna happen overnight. Everybody wants the quick fix, like everything is gonna, happen overnight. Look, if you gain 10 pounds in 2 years, it's gonna probably take you about 2 years to get the 10 pounds off. It takes time for everything. Everything takes time. Everything under the heavens has a time and a space for it. So therefore, you have to make sure you get up and proceed. If you don't get up, it's not going to happen. You only as valuable. I was always taught that we're only in charge of our intent. Everything else after that is a mystery. Okay. So if you don't get up and that was your intent, well, you suffer the consequences that come with that. Absolutely. Okay.
So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yeah. Right now I'm working on networking with bigger investors. I would like to have a film production company in Philadelphia building with my name on it. But it would house youth programs that cater to film and audio production. It also would cater to at-risk youth who need a secondary place to come to be inspired. Also would cater to young entrepreneurs who are looking to start small businesses and a hub to come to. So I would like for this building with Illinois Styles on it to have that as a legacy for my city, because we do not have a film company here, but all these major film companies come here and they film, take our scenery, everything, go off, make millions of dollars, and we never see it. And so at the end of the day, I want to have that here.
Wow. We have similar ideas. But all right. So here we go. So lightning round. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you just answer what comes to mind. Short and sweet. You ready?
Okay.
All right. What initially would have or did hold you back from making your commitment to change?
My thoughts, I guess.
Yeah.
My what held me back? I guess my lack of drive to talk to bigger people. I guess because sometimes I get nervous doing that.
Okay. What is the best advice you have ever received?
Be you.
Mm.
That was my best advice.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
So share a personal habit that contributes to your success.
Personal habit. Consistency. If every time I say I'm going to do something, I always do it. And that has always been my habit. My habit is if I say I'm going to write a film, I start writing it. If I say I'm going to put it out, I find the means to do that. Like my consistency has been just like my personal habit. If you can put that.
That is a habit, yes.
Okay. All right.
What book would you recommend to the C2C audience and why?
That's a good question. Because I don't know where I want to take this. The Hunger Games.
Okay.
And why did I pick that, right? Okay. I was going to give you all these other political books about how to, justify why we came from so far and this, that, and the third. But if you realize the Hunger Games is about a group of people that have to fight their way to the top. And it's all entertainment for the bigwigs. If you can learn the strategy of understanding that it's a dog-eat-dog world and that if you don't get up and create something for yourself or protect yourself, then nobody's going to protect you. And you're just living life vicariously for no reason. Your hope should be into that. That movie will give you a lot of hope because that movie is based on the fact that people are trying to survive in every sector and people are looking for ways to survive and they'll do anything to do it. And you have to find your way to the top. So I chose the Hunger Games. I actually yeah.
Well, I mean, you could have gave me more than one book. I think Nakia gave me like 10 books.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the 48 Laws of Power, I could give you, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read that and, but that really, it was things that I already knew there. But one thing I know about life is that everything ain't for you. Like, there's multiple avenues that we're all going to travel down. Multiple lines of socialism and activism that we're going to go down. There's tons and tons of lines of that. However, everything is not going to be for you. What is for you is going to be for you. Okay. And so you can read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and learn finances, but still suck at it.
Right. That's not your gift.
That's not your gift. That's not for you. So, you can read information forever, but you know what's for you because your spirit is going to tell you what's for you.
Right.
You have to be in tune with oneself. You have to learn how to woo-sa, right? But you have to be in tune with yourself to know what God has for you. Like I said, for years, I did music. I'm telling you, I performed on stage with KRS-One, CL Smooth and Pete Rock. I performed on stage with major stars. I could not get 20 people to come to a rap concert. I'm not going to, okay? The first time I created a movie, I had 100 people come out. And ever since then, I've been having tons and tons of people come out to see these films. So what is for me is for me. No matter how I wanted to be the rapper of the year, it never happened. Although I rubbed shoulders with all of them. Trey Songz, Flupe Fiasco. I mean, I'm right here with them. didn't mean nothing because that was for me.
Yep.
And what is for you is for you. So it's no really one book I can give you that's going to give you that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you for sharing the ones that you have, because I wrote them all down. I want to make sure I put that in the notes for the podcast. Now, here's your deep question. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm diving. Let's go.
Okay. If you found out that you had 1 hour left to live and you were given the opportunity to share one final message, what would it be?
It's only my 1 hour, or everybody in the world only got 1 hour?
It's your 1 hour.
Treat each other better. Treat each other with kindness, more kindness, and learn how to cry and let go. And learn how to be motivated within oneself to be a better you. And don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. And don't put God in the box.
Don't put God in the box.
Right.
I was just about to ask you, do you have a quote? I like that quote. I might steal it, but do you have a quote that you'd like to share? Not from someone else, but like a personal quote that you say, or that you like people to know you as, or know you for saying?
No, I haven't established that yet. I haven't established a quote yet. My mom used to always tell me, "Let peace be still," and that was her quote for me. But I haven't established one yet. So you have to get back to me. Keep following me, and I'll come up with one.
Okay. Well, now's your chance to tell our audience where they can find you, so they can follow you, and so they know what's going on, and they can keep up with your premiere and everything else that's happening.
The main page, you can see all the information about the premiere. We have a Heartless, the movie page on Facebook, which we have the behind the scene footage and pictures of what we did on the scenes on the set. You can also get the information and see the trailers there at Jermaine Quick, as well as the Heartless movie page on Facebook. And my Twitter name is EQ Philly. I know a lot of people, Twitter is just basically for typing, so you can type me up on there and then you pull up some pictures and stuff like that. But another main page is Instagram. Instagram has taken over. So they have Instagram story, and I just made my own Illadale Styles TV on Instagram. So if you go to Jermaine Quick Producer on Instagram, you will see all the information concerning the movie Heartless, some interviews that I've done with some major artists. Like I just put up the new one with CeeLo Green and Jazzy Faye. We were on the tour bus, and I got an interview with them. You can go watch that. So you get some exclusive stuff if you go to my Instagram page, Jermaine Quick Producer, and my YouTube channel, Illadale Styles Entertainment. That's my YouTube channel, and I always put exclusive stuff up there too. So I'm out here. We out here. I appreciate this interview. You know, I'm so super excited to even just be in another place and time zone. This is awesome.
Well, it's awesome for me too. I really appreciate that. So, we're finished. It's over.
Aw. I enjoyed myself. I really did. I thank you for allowing me to share my talent and my life with your viewers. It's awesome.
Yes, I really appreciate that. And everyone who is listening, please definitely check out the links that we provided. So I just want to tell you again, Jermaine, thank you so much for being a VIP guest on the C2C podcast. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. We hope you feel inspired to keep moving forward towards your goals and stick with or make a commitment to change your life. And please make sure to check out our links provided by our guests and share today's podcast and information with anyone you feel may benefit from it. And remember, in order to get to the top of the steps, you have to take the first step. Just remember, don't step on anyone on the way to the top, because you just might trip. This is Miss Nikki. Till next time.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.